We are back at Breathe Music Live Sessions. So, I recently posted a video, just a sing along with the fabulous Benson Boone singing Beautiful Things. It's really important to have sing alongs. It's really important for us singers to remember why we are putting in this work in the first place. Okay, we want to have fun, it's enjoyable. We do it because we love it. But when we love something so much, sometimes there are these barriers that are created that build up in us over time that sometimes we don't address, and they can creep in to become vocal issues. How do we sing a song with power and conviction? Okay, this is really, really important. There are so many incredible singers out there. There's so much competition. We all have a voice that we like to call our own. Um, to me, this is one of the critical pieces in performing a piece of music. I am of the mindset that it doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be real and it needs to be strong and authentic. Sometimes it's hard to access those things. Sometimes we don't have the right tools. We know that we want it. We know what we want it to sound like. We have this vision of what our performance will be or how we will sound when we sing. And when we don't meet those expectations, that can damper our enthusiasm and our dreams of growing as a singer. So I think that the power and conviction is really important, and it's important to have the right tools to help us get there because it isn't a light switch, right? Singing with power isn't just something that we do overnight. This is something that takes time, with effort, with discipline and practice to develop. It's one of the key skills of being a great singer. I can remember a time that I was auditioning a lot. I was working a lot. I was starting to earn an income as a musical theater performer. I was doing commercials. I was on my game. Um, and I was having a good run. It was a good season. And I went to an audition at Parker Playhouse here in Fort Lauderdale, which is one of my favorite theaters I've ever been to. Had some great experiences there. And so I thought, oh, I can do this. I totally know Parker Playhouse and I'm feel really confident, and I just felt really prepared. And I walked into the theater, and because I think this is what it is. I don't really know, but I think because I love the space so much and it was so important to me to get that job, that that expectation that I had for myself was limiting me from having a good audition. Because I walked in, I had to go up on stage. There were a few people in the audience, just like your classic scene that you could imagine for an audition where it's very quiet. You can hear my little footsteps in my uncomfortable heels that I was wearing. And I stood up on stage to sing my song, and I got a tremor in my leg. My leg started to shake. Like literally every muscle in my leg shook, and it went up. I can do it now. Like I can now make my leg tremor. All of my years of Alexander work. My leg was tremoring, and it made my whole body shake. And I sang the song. I did all of my things, but I was like, it looked like I was shivering in the cold, and I was mortified. I don't think I auditioned a lot after that. Like, I took a break after that because I just was convinced that I couldn't audition anymore, that I was incapable of doing it. Um, and what actually happened is I had a bad audition. I had something triggered in me, some nerves, some anxiety, um, and it came around really quick. And I didn't have the skills then to mitigate that at that moment. I didn't have the practice of the pause. I didn't have the practice of convincing myself that these nerves was just a reaction to my enthusiasm and the adrenaline that was in my body. Um, I didn't know that then. I know that now. And this is what I want to teach you. So, developing the skills to counteract that adrenaline and those nerves that come up, whether it's from imposter syndrome, where we feel like we're not good enough, or if it's from just the sheer excitement and the elevated mood that we feel when we get the opportunity to audition. There's skills that we can learn to balance ourselves well and to come into a space with confidence, with ease, with a calm outward spirit so that we can have a really strong audition that we feel good about. Um, there's so much pressure that we put on ourselves. So, I want to just give you a couple of tools now that you can work on, that you can practice with. Number one is soft eyes. So, our visual cortex requires the most energy of any activity in our body. The cones that we use to see and visualize and take in the world, obviously, we're using our vision the most of any of our senses to observe the world around us. Those muscles work incredibly hard. So, not only are they already working hard, but then when we focus on someone or we want to talk to someone or we want to read something, we're focusing in and we tend to narrow our vision in order to stay focused, right? We want to stay focused, we want to be active, we want to be present in the moment, so we get really focused. So sometimes that can work against us when it comes to singing and projecting and speaking in front of a group of people or maybe just one person. Soft eyes is allowing for a moment for your focus to back away from the thing that you're looking at and just start to notice the items, the things that are around that thing that you're focusing on. So, what is around your room? Peripherally, what can you see without turning your head and looking? So, as you're still looking ahead at the person or the camera or whoever it is that you're speaking to, start to notice peripherally what you can see. And what happens is there's a relaxation, there's a calming of the nervous system that occurs when we do that, that allows our system inside, those intrinsic muscles, that those areas of our body that tend to tense up when we're performing, it gives them an opportunity to calm. When we are calm, we make better decisions, we can react with more thoughtful presence. So the soft eyes is an exercise. I'm not asking you to do this when you're performing. Obviously, when you're performing, you're thinking about a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stimulus. But it's a good practice to do prior to that performance or after or just in your daily practice. So practice your soft eyes. So you're looking, but you're noticing what's going on around you. It's almost like you're stepping back from your camera lens and taking in a wider shot. That's one thing you can try. I want to give you another tool that can help for some of those performance jitters that may come up. Something else that you can consider when you're practicing for that performance. So, having a good old sing along and singing to your favorite song and just blasting it really loud and letting that sound come out is an important part of your practice, okay? We spend a lot of time being mindful of how loud we are. We don't want to disturb the person next to us, or, we want to be mindful of our volume. But as singers, we need to know the extent of the power that we have in our instrument. So we have to practice being loud. We have to practice throwing that sound as far out as we can so that we can develop those skills to project our voice. And a lot of that happens in play. There are so many videos out there that I see, practice this exercise, do this exercise. But what about just playing? What about playing and having fun, getting into our childlike bodies, getting into how our body feels as we're moving through the emotions of a song? So singing beautiful things, to me, the song is about, what if I lose it all? I have all this beauty in my life. I have the perfect everything. And what if it all goes away? So it's a song about, to me, it's a song about fear, about like really addressing the carnal fear of what if somebody takes all these beautiful things away from them? What if I don't deserve them? And that is like a huge emotional experience. Like that is a fear that we all have. Like, what if I lose it all? What if the bottom falls out? What if I lose everything? That invokes a lot of physical tension and stress. So If I was going to perform Beautiful Things and I wanted to make that part of my repertoire and be a song that I say that I perform well, that I cover or I pay a tribute to, you have to learn to embody that song. It's not just singing it and learning the words, it's so much more than that. If you want it to be a compelling, powerful experience for the listener, embodying that song is playing. So, playing with your movement, playing with how you hold the microphone. You know, it's not necessarily choreography, but it's how your body moves through the song. Throwing yourself around, letting your arms get into it, your legs, your body, your hips, your shoulders. How does your body feel as you're working your way through that message of the song? It's really important to take some time and play with that. Go into it and do it alone so that you're not worrying about who's listening. You can come here to the studio and rent the space and sing to your heart's content. Wherever you are in the world, you want to take the time to really get into the song. And I find that moving through it, even if you're holding an instrument, you can still move, right? You can be really dramatic, like get into your best Freddie Mercury, like throw your arms into that playing, throw your head around, like just free up your movement and see what's possible without judgment. Okay, so that is my second tip for you today. It's movement without judgment. Play around, throw your body into it, do something crazy. Don't pull out your neck or anything. But I just want you to consider that embodiment in music, that feeling that fear, feeling that angst, that anger, that pain. Whether it's a dance move or you're just throwing your head into that song, is really, really important. It's part of the skill that you need to build to sing a song that's compelling and powerful. So give it a try. Let me know how it turns out.